Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here, and today I will be featuring a Oni-Cult Anvil Rakdos deck in Standard. The list is in the description below, along with a tweet to Misplaced Ginger, where I got this deck from. If anyone has been watching this channel for a while, you know how much I love Sacrifice decks, and how much I love Oni-Cult Anvil. So Oni-Cult Anvil is an artifact for 2 mana that whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, you create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once a turn. And then you can also sacrifice an artifact to have Oni-Cult deal 1 damage to your opponent and gain 1 life. And this deck kind of really is optimized to make Oni-Cult Anvil as good as it possibly can. So we have a lot of artifacts in here. We have Bloodtithe Harvester, we have Voldaren Epicure, which create blood. Then we also have Experimental Synthesizer. And this is a card that when it enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, you exile the top card of your library and you can play it that turn. And we also have Reckoner Bankbuster as another artifact. And Fable of the Mirror Breaker creates the Goblin token can create treasures, which are artifacts. So all these things that when they leave the battlefield will give you stuff for Oni-Cult Anvil. Experimental Synthesizer is a card that's really, really powerful, but you need to find a very, very good shell for it, because you need to have a low mana curve, otherwise the cards you're exiling you won't be able to cast the turn you exile it, and you need to have cheap ways to sacrifice it. And with Oni-Cult Anvil, you can sacrifice it to a synthesizer, which will then trigger all your Oni-Cult Anvil, so you make constructs, and then you basically draw a card, right? And so this deck is going to really, really rely on incrementally bleeding your opponent over several turns, and turning that card advantage and drain to deal with what your opponent's doing into hopefully a lethal threat, but many, many turns down. This is not a deck that kind of wins out of nowhere. You have to really plan for the long game. And that's what you can see how a lot of these cards are built for, Sheoldred and Meathook, the incremental damage and life gain. Tenacious Underdog can keep on coming back over and over again. And the thing that I really, really like about this deck, and it's only as a one-of here, but we have Urborg Repossession, which it's a sorcery that can return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. But if you kick it with green mana, and this deck does have access to green mana via the treasures from Fable, the Mirror Breaker, or Ziatora's Proving Ground, you not only gain 2 life, but you return another target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. And that means you can return an Oni-Cult, a Synthesizer, a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, or even a Reckoner Bankbuster or Meathook Massacre. And it's a card that, I've kind of wanted to work in Standard and have been playing it in a lot of Golgari, black-green shells. But I think it obviously has worked in here, and so I'm really, really excited to try it out and see how it works here today. So, with all that being said, let's go play some games. Also, if you haven't already, you should totally like, comment, and subscribe. That's a great way to help support me and this channel. If you have any deck suggestions, please let me know. I am always looking for more things to play. And I have a Twitch if you want to watch me play live Magic. And I have a Metafy if you're interested in coaching. Those links are down below. Now, thank you for watching, and let's play some games. So, this is a pretty decent hand. We have a turn 1 play and a turn 2 play. Right, and that's kind of what we want in this type of deck, right? Because we can get all of our card advantage and stuff later, but having, stuff to do in the first couple turns and blood to find stuff that we need is really more important, I think, than actively having, like, a pretty decent 3 or 4 drop. So I literally don't even know what Faithbound Judge does. Then if there are 3 more judgment counters, so that's gonna take a while to get going, but we need to kill it now, right? So we're gonna Bloodtithe Harvester. We'll get the Fable out, and then we can start attacking with the Voldaren Epicure. We can say go. Another Faithbound Judge, alright. So now I have to figure out what we are going to do. We can get rid of the Meathook here. Maybe we should have gotten rid of that. But I think we'll get rid of this. But I don't know, we can't attack really into the Faithbound Judge. If we get Kiki Jikis going, we can, like, start accumulating a lot of treasure, though. And do that. And I think we can get rid of both of those. We have 4 lands already, which is good. Let's Experimental Synthesizer before we play the land in our hand, so we can do the land drop if we get it. Then we can Bankbuster. Alright. Now, there's a lot our opponent could have here. A lot of different board wipes and things maybe we should play around. So I'm not entirely sure what I am afraid of or am not afraid of. I have a feeling there is a very big potential for a Wandering Emperor that I'm a little scared of. So I'll just play the Sheoldred here. Dissipate, okay. I won't attack. Again, ooh, Silver Scrutiny, okay. Now I wonder. So we're taking 4 here. There's a lot we can do here. So we're gonna do all the Kiki Jikis at our opponent's end step. And if you activate a Kiki Jiki at the end of your opponent's turn, that token will stay alive until your turn, because they go away at the next end step. So now what I'm trying to think is, if we can activate Kiki Jiki enough to create enough Kiki Jikis, and then create enough Goblin Shamans, so we can attack Meathook Massacre, and then all the tokens that die will kill our opponent. And this is a lot to math out, so I'm going to do what I normally do, which is pray and hope it works. And it might not, and that's so okay with me. Yeah, let's just do this. And then we can Meathook. And now all the Kiki Jiki tokens will die. And that will trigger Meathook Massacre, and I think this is enough. I hope I did my math right. We could have done X equals more than 2, or X equals 2 to make sure everything dies, but I think this is enough. And it is. GG. Okay. This is a little underwhelming hand, but Fable of the Mirror Breaker fixes everything, and we do have removal for something. Hopefully, something we can kill here. Because Kamano faces Sokenzan, can make a lot of things our opponents do a 3-3 like Bloodthirsty Adversary. And so now we kind of want to cry. I kind of want to cry. But that's okay. Hopefully Fable can find something good, though our opponent does likely have removal for it. Because they are a red deck. Let's hope not, but... Oh, okay. This is very good, because now we get to Meathook for 3. Oh, we were very, very fortunate here. I think I want to get rid of... We can get rid of a Meathook. We gain some life, clear the board. There are a couple things we're really worried about, like maybe a Thundering Raiju, which can come out and attack for 4. But we get to breathe a little bit. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Not ideal, but... And Sheoldred just will do wonders here, because our opponent now has to waste likely 2 spells to get rid of Sheoldred, and can't... I mean, will probably loot with the Fable if there's nothing else going on in hand, but our clock is now ginormous, right? And our opponent is also inclined to send removal and spend all their mana getting rid of Sheoldred, and if that happens, we get to Kiki Jiki Bloodtithe Harvester, which is basically gonna win on the spot for us. Okay. Do we block here? No, I won't block here. I think if we block, we lose to a... Or not lose, we lose Sheoldred to a removal spell, potentially. A 2 damage one. And I think we can just wait. Let's see what our opponent has. Our opponent probably... Oh, didn't have anything? Alright, so we just got a little bluffed, but that's okay, because, hey, we win. Alright, I don't like this hand, but here's the thing. If we draw a 3rd land, Fable fixes it, and we do have removal if our opponent is a more aggressive deck. So, worked out, and we drew the Reckoner. I still think this is probably a mulligan, because if we don't draw a land, that would have been really, really bad if our opponent wasn't an aggressive deck, but of course, rewarded, and that's okay. Wedding announcement? Alright, nice. I think we need to Fable here, though I'm not in love with that. We probably are gonna Fable both the voltage surges away. Meathook Massacre is going to be a lot better at clearing all of our opponent's creatures, because there's going to be a lot of them soon, maybe. Ooh. We could kill this Sheoldred now. I don't know, though. Let's get rid of both. I don't care about all this damage. That's fine for me. Alright, we do that. Oni-Cult Anvil. Tap it for 1 black mana. We will then eat and alive the Sheoldred. Now, there is a little problem here with Meathook Massacre, you know, just always killing your own Fables is always an unfortunate thing. Ooh, our opponent's drawing 2 cards here, though. Okay. Let's draw and see what's up. Thankfully, we did draw a land. And now we have to figure out what I want to do here. I think I want to just get the Meathook Massacre out. Because with Urborg Repossession, we can always buy back a Meathook Massacre. And I think it just is might be a little good for us to have it out, and we can start maybe like draining some things. Like this will kill, and if our opponent has Destroy Evil, we get to do that, right? And that seems relatively fine. Maybe, maybe not. Opponent's gonna draw another card, though. Do another Sheoldred. Yep. Then we get to do that, kill that. Then we have a Tenacious Underdog on the battlefield. This is very, very interesting. But again, as you can see, we're trying to just plan for the long game, right? Slow incremental damage over time. And hopefully it will work out. And that's how I'm playing the deck. Maybe it is supposed to be played a little different, but I think this is kind of what we're supposed to doing, right? Farewell would be a disaster, but that's not what happened here. Alright, now the meat hooks are kind of a wash. But we do get to activate the Bankbuster. Which is nice. Let's see what we get with the Experimental Synthesizer. Definitely not ideal, I think. I want to see what we get again when we do that now. Oh, Reckoner Bankbuster? Okay. Let's see what our opponent does. And then I'm going to play this land. We're going to blitz out the Tenacious Underdog. Opponent has a Make Disappear, and then we'll just crew. Attack, and then say go. Another wedding announcement. Alright. These are not things I want our opponent to have, by the way. This is very, very, very close. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, because if our opponent blocks the 1/1, I think they're dead on board. Our opponent has to block both Bankbusters, I believe. Oh. I don't know what's in our opponent's hand, but I think this is... Yeah. And then I do think I need to activate that. Sides, we trade, and then we draw. Alright, there's a Sheoldred, which we like. Opponent has 4 cards in hand in... Okay. Has a really big creature there. I wonder if I want to use my Urborg yet. I don't think so. I think I just want to do that right now. To get the 1/1 during our turn. Because we don't have any other artifacts to sack. Say no. If our opponent gets to their draw step, Sheoldred will kill them. Destroy evil. Okay. Now, the thing here is... If our opponent attacks and we block with our creatures, I think this is how it works. Our Meathook will resolve first, so our opponent should lose. I think they lose the 2 life before they gain. So, GG. Well, everyone, thank you for watching me play this Anvil deck in Standard, and this is wonderful. It is amazing. It felt really good. It played very well. It just kind of did everything I wanted this deck to do, and I love it. I don't really have anything else to say. I think one of the interesting parts about Standard right now is the removal suite you need to do well. And I think, Eaten Alive, Infernal Grasp, and Voltage Surge, and Soul Transfer, they're all good against different, decks, and sometimes the Exile is much more important than the Destroy effect, and sometimes the Instant Speed is much more important than the Sorcery part, and there's so many moving things, specifically with mana efficiency of Eaten Alive and everything going around, and this just worked today, and everything felt in the deck today felt very, very cohesive. We also have a sideboard here that I won't get into, but again, against the more aggressive decks, you can take out your slower cards and add in more creature removal and, vice versa. But no, the deck worked. It was really, really great. I don't know if we really got to use Urborg Repossession, but the ability to use it made me feel, in that last game specifically, made me feel very, very safe, and you could discard cards, like, you can discard Meathook Massacre to Fable of the Mirror Breaker, knowing you can get it back with the Urborg Repossession, and I think that's really, really cool. So this deck worked, it was wonderful, and I'm very, very happy with it. With all that being said, if you liked what you watched, you should totally press that like, follow, or sub button, or comment, or anything. If you want to watch me stream live at twitch.tv/thenerdysteve, you should do that. And I also do coaching, and all those links are down below. I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.